Hi crafty friends, Melissa Miner here. Thanks so much for joining me on YouTube. Today I'm creating a layout using the Shimmerz Paints August 2025 color kits. If you haven't seen what's included in the kit, I will leave a full unboxing link listed down below in the description box. Alright, I've done a few things off camera. I've used all of the paints that came in the kit this month, and I've painted up these circles. Now these circles here on the left side, those were from one of the pattern papers, and I just cut those apart and painted the circles. So I used the pink Champagne-Creameez. It's meant to be Shimmerz. Oh Say Can You See Coloringz, Scarlett's Fever Coloringz, and also I used the new Fire and Ice Shimmerz and the Beets Me Inklingz. I've got two photos that I want to scrapbook, and this is a picture of me in a candy store, and this is when we were on vacation in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I loved this candy store. It reminded me of my first job when I was 15. I started working at a candy store in our mall, which we don't have a mall anymore, but it kind of reminded me of that. And we actually found a candy that we've been trying to find. Remember the candy sixlets? I haven't found them anywhere, and they had sixlets in bulk in this candy store. So I thought that was kind of fun. So I'm adding these two photos here on a piece of the pattern paper, and then I am following a sketch that was from Allison Davis, and this was from her Sketches for 6x6 paper pads. It's a paid sketch, so I can't show it to you, but I will leave a link down below in the description box if you're interested in checking out that sketch. So I'm just taking an edge distressing tool here and roughing up the edges. I printed my pictures 3x3, and I do print all my photos at home. I have the Epson PictureMate 400, and I just love printing at home. I'm also bringing in this title piece from Colorcast Designs to my layout, and I just thought it was so fun, and the color was perfect. I had to use it, and the title says Obsessing Over. Now in the sketch, it shows that the title should be on the lower right and of the photos, and I think I want to do that, but I feel like that teal color is kind of, I don't know, it was kind of overpowering it with the way that the line was there. So I just rotated my paper a little bit, and I think that the title shows up much better that way. So according to the sketch, I've taken they have a bunch of circles, and I didn't follow the sketch directions as far as what sizes to use for circles. I just thought it was fun to use these circles that were from the pattern paper that I just fussy cut with my scissors. And I love the way these turned out with the paints, and I just think it's so fun, and it kind of reminds me of like little candies, like bulk candies. So that was another reason that I was inspired to create the layout in this fashion. So what I'm going to do here is make some loopy lines, I guess. I'm going to go from the top to the right and then back over to the left. And then I'm just going to loop it around and around. So if you kind of think of that, that's what I'm doing here. Just arranging these circles and trying not to get any that are the exact same next to each other. I know my photo is going to sit on some, so I don't have to put any behind it. But I'm just going to place these circles here just for placement, and then I'll go back in and start gluing these down with some wet glue. Now the reason I'm doing the wet glue is I do want to do some stitching on this layout. I'm going to do some hand stitching, and I find it easier anytime there's sewing on my layout to use a wet glue. Sometimes that tape runner gets just kind of gummed up on your needle, so I don't want that to happen. So I've got some extra circles, and I'm just making sure I don't want to rotate any of the different colors in, but I think I'm happy with the way this looks, so I'll just set those aside for now. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my wet glue and start gluing these down, and I will do most of the gluing off camera. Now I'm taking a pencil and I'm just drawing a line in the pattern that I want to stitch. And this is so I can make my puncture holes for my stitching. So it just makes it easier if you have a line to follow. So I'm just freehanding this, just seeing how this will go here. So I'll finish this up, and now I've got all of my pencil lines. So the next step in this process is I'm going to make those little puncture holes. So I've got my foam pad underneath, and I've got my piercing tool, and I'm just going to poke all of these all along here. And it's okay if they're not exactly the same distance. I'm just kind of eyeballing this as well. But I love the way that this is going to look when all in the end. Oops, that one wasn't glued down quite enough. That one came up just a little bit. So I have all the holes punctured, and now I'm going to start my stitching. So I just went through my embroidery floss here, and I picked out just a light lavender. I thought that the lavender color went well since that is the color of the pattern paper that I matted my photos with. I thought it kind of just tied it all together using this lavender. So I will do most of the stitching off camera, but I just kind of wanted to show you I'm just using a back stitch. And here is how that turned out, and I love the way it looks. I'm not one to do a lot of hand stitching because it does take quite a bit of time, but I wanted to follow this sketch, and I think it turned out really well. All right, so I have that finished. Now I want to go ahead and get my photo glued down. I am going to put a little bit of foam behind my photo just because I have that stitching back there. Now I just used some craft foam from my local craft store, and I'm just going to put a couple pieces on here with some of my tacky glue. I'm going to cut another piece and just put it here in the center, just so I don't have any like dipping in my photo. So I will hold this down, and then I'll get this flipped over and added to the layout. So, oops, I almost glued it upside down. It looks like, I think it was about right here. Right here. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this down, give it a good little press to get that adhered, and then we can start the embellishing of the layout. Now, I don't need a whole lot of embellishments. I mean, I've got a busy pattern paper, and I have all of my painted circles, but I do need to add my title. Now, anytime I'm gluing down acrylic pieces, I like to use the Nuvo Deluxe glue. I just find that I know it holds it, so I don't try any other glues because I know this works. So I'll put a little bit on the back, and I will hold this down for a moment and get this in place. You'll see on my desk, I do have the dots that came in the kit, and I definitely want to use the dot. So this one is the smiley face, and it's I've got it here, and I'm just gonna try it out in a few places to see where I can place that. I noticed on the puffy stickers there are also a bunch of smiley faces, so I want to repeat that pattern or repeat that element of smiley faces. So I'm just going to pull off all of the smiley faces from the puffy stickers, and I'm going to place them on my circles just to give them a little bit of added interest. And so it's not every circle, it's just a few here and there. So I got those in place. Now I do need to add some glue to the back of the dots. I had handled it a little bit, so the stick was off of it. So I'll glue this one down, and I like that it's right here by the title. So I think that really stands out down here. And then I don't know what else I want to embellish with. I was thinking maybe these stars. I love the color of them, so I was kind of thinking about these, but they don't end up making it on my layout. I thought they were too busy, but I did find these cherries. So one of the pieces of ephemera had the cherries, and then I noticed there were more cherries on the puffy stickers, and with it being a candy store, I thought the cherries were perfect to go with this. So I'm going to fill in more of these circles with the cherries. So I'm going to glue this one down because this one was the ephemera piece in the ephemera pack that came in the color kits. So we'll get that down. And I think this is shaping up to be a really cute layout. Now off camera, I just cut a piece of cardstock and rounded the corners and made some lines and put my journaling on here. And now I'm using the sequins from the bonus bundle, and I just want to scatter some around. I love that the sequins in the bonus bundle each month just match everything so perfectly. So the bonus bundle, you can get the sequins, and it comes with the Beets Me Inklingz. And this is an add-on, so speaking of adding things on, if you want to add this on, if you place any order on the Shimmerz Paints website, if you add my name, Melissa Miner, to the notes section or the comment section of your order, Shimmerz will send you a free gift, and it's usually a paint. So that's just a great way to build up your collection of paints. And you can add my name to every order that you place, and each time you'll receive another free gift. So I've got a few more sequins here. I'm just scattering them around the layout, and that will finish up today's layout. So if you've enjoyed today's video, I invite you to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!